Welcome to the Taiwan language episode, a podcast for learning and insights in Mandarin and Taiwanese. I'm your host, Yasmin. Hi everyone. Have you ever wondered why some stories stick with us long after we've first heard them? Growing up in Taiwan, I remember listening to tales that make my heart ache and my imagination soar. One thing I've noticed over the years is that the stories we call classic are not always about everything turning out perfectly. Sometimes it's the moments we don't get, the endings that are not tidy, that linger the longest in our minds. This makes me think about love and happiness. In many cultures, we are taught to strive for a perfect ending, a wedding, a lifelong partnership, a happy ever after. But is that always what makes a story or a life truly meaningful? From my perspective here in Taiwan, where tradition and modernity often intersect, I've started to see that the absence of a perfection can actually be what gives a story its depth and resonance. Think of those times in life when you have had to let go, when circumstances didn't allow you to have exactly what you wanted. The lingering feeling, the quiet ache, somehow stays with you longer than any easy joy. It teaches you about desire, about sacrifice, about what freedom really means. It also asks us to reflect, what is love worth when it meets the boundaries of society, family, or time itself? Next week, in my Chinese episode, I'm going to share something that really brings these questions to life. It is a content that has stayed with people for hundreds of years. We are going to talk about why a perfect ending isn't always the best thing. Sometimes when everything is too neat and happy, it actually takes away the beauty of being human. It flattens it. I want to explore why stories that feel bittersweet or even a little sad often touch our hearts much more than a simply happy ever after. It makes us think about our own lives too, how our struggles, the tough choices we make, and the things we give up actually make our stories meaningful, just as much as the happy moments do. I will not give away the details of next week's content here, but imagine looking back at a moment in your life and realizing that the things you didn't get or could not have taught you more about who you are and what you value. That is the lens next week to reflect on love, freedom, and the meaning of commitment across time. And here is my question to you as you wait for next week's episode. If you are faced with a choice between an easy, happy life and one filled with real risk, real passion, and perhaps even heartbreak, which would you choose? Would you chase security or would you honor the depth of your desire, even if it means living with longing? Next week, let's explore this together in the Chinese episode and see what lessons from a centuries-old story can still guide us in today's world. So that wraps up what I wanted to share today. I hope you enjoyed today's episode. Thank you so much for listening to today's preview. This podcast gives you a sneak peek of next week's Chinese episode, where the full story will be shared along with the rich storytelling, culture insights, and local phrases you will not get from just this preview. You can download the study guide and read through the full Chinese transcript of next week's episode ahead of time. It might give you a fresh perspective when you listen to the story later. The study guide also includes a vocabulary, grammar tips, culture notes, and extension questions, giving you everything you need to explore the story more deeply. I hope today's preview sparks your curiosity and gets you excited for the full episode next week. If you enjoy this podcast, I would be so grateful if you could leave a 5-star review on your favorite platform and share it with your best friends. It really helps more people discover this podcast. You can also support my work by buying me a cup of coffee. Every bit helps me keep creating language learning resources for you. Stay tuned for next week's Chinese episode, and thank you again for listening. Bye for now.